I think this is a lot safer, even though obviously trying to engage with the Xin Zhao is still going to be hard, and the engage of KT is really lackluster. The amount of prio and early skirmishing power that this composition have is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I feel like if T1 can kind of keep them at arm's length for a while, get their Nautilus tanky, get Faker fed.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, they can't fall behind ever.
You don't have engage, and then you're losing the poke war versus the Corki, and then you're just kind of feeling sad. So it's just going to be pretty interesting to see how this early to big game plays out. I think that it is. All right, here we go. Game number 1, the Telecom War, Saturday Showdown. And just a wonderful Saturday afternoon. So, reason why we're not too thrilled about the Corki pick is because he did have a big interaction taken away, where the Malignants and the Eclipse don't quite work together, where the Malignants procs the second attack for the Eclipse. So you do Omega Boom Boom damage with one rocket. Can still poke. They changed up his timing on the package as well. And I'm just curious to see how it's going to play out. I feel like there were other choices, but Faker definitely liking these long-range poke mid-lane champions.
Faker, though, still on the back, and maybe Pioshi doesn't even care. Does have Karma here, though, so Owner needs to be mindful, but not going to make the rotation.
Yeah, I think Owner's just going to take the crab. I mean, he might show up here, and he just smited the crab, so he's got to wait for that second smite. But yeah, he's just going to let it go. And Pioshik will be able to get all 3 of these early grubs.
I like the call, actually, because Pioshik already got a crab. There's no need for him to go too ham. This allows BDD to maintain pressure on his lane.
I like the Udyr pick. I think he's just going to be able to essentially neutralize the lane, and that allows Zeus to kill him. Now, KT are getting all of the objectives early on. They're going to get this Drake here, as well as the first 3 Bubs. So they're feeling pretty good about their map state.
I like the Dark Seal pickup as well. My opinion, a really underrated item on Udyr. He actually does benefit from these AP ratios, as I'm pretty sure Owner was able to get that with the smite.
Yeah, he definitely did. And now Faker's coming over here, but there is BDD right in their face, so not going to overcommit to this because Owner is, rather, Pioshik is so low. Owner, though, is going to overcommit to it and flash on top of a guy who just runs away from them. And does flash as well, so, so far.
So far.
So far. And the latest First Blood ever, 38 minutes and 59 seconds.
Still can't believe that, 38 minutes.
Yep. That was a fun year. That was, let me just take another look here.
We're doing a history lesson.
Yeah,
nothing is happening.
2018 spring, so it was right after 2017, which was famously pretty boring, just straight up as a meta. Just a lot of farming, a lot of sitting back, and playing for late game.
Power spike is so big, BDD might be able to do some heavy lifting here, and early on, if Deft gets the movement, the freedom rather, to move, and join in this fight without getting locked down, do a lot of DPS, that could be game deciding. T1, they're gonna take the risk.
I mean, they are going to go for it. They open up on a Xin Zhao, who is going to press his ultimate ability, as now Helicopter coming out. BDD is flung into the air as the package does isolate one member, as Deft will flash over the wall, though he gets away. And now trying to save Faker's life. We do have an ult on top of Pioshik, who doesn't have his anymore. And we're at a standstill once again, and I think this will favor KT with all the low health bars here on the side of T1 and a lack of package. So KT ROLSTER, no kills, but they do win the fight, I guess?
Maybe. The sustain from Senna is bigger, and Keria has TP because he is the farming Nautilus.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be big.
And you really don't want to give this one up. BD flanked with a TP there on the Karma, but gets knocked away immediately. And as a result, T1, again, colossal win here. Picking up an early dragon is going to mean that the possible win condition for KT is going to be so much further along.
and it's Ocean Soul. We had some, let's say, because, you know, not a massive comeback for T1 or anything just yet, as Beryl is going to miss the handshake here. Zeus flying very fast with his World Ender and will actually flash away just to make sure he doesn't go down to death.
Don't want to die here. Give over a kill to the Kalista, who hasn't been able to build that big of a lead. Some Blades, as well as a small CS lead over her farming counterpart is Poppy.
Oh, not going to hit Pioshik, though. It will come down to a smite fight. Who's going to get it? It will go the way of, well, Kalista, who's got her own smite in a way as the knockup does come in. And look at that combo as immediately Deft is going to go down. The BDD is in a lot of trouble here as well. The Renata ult was pretty good, but I think now that Faker shows up, they are just down a member and down any sort of damage. The bailout comes in on a Pioshik, but way too late to do anything to change the fight, and T1 will pick up the fight.
That's the benefit of forcing those early summoners at that Drake fight. Deft needs to be in close range. It's so hard to play that out, even with Zeus flashing. And then look at the optimization as well on the other end. There's double Hex Drinker available. There's a lot of early MR. Meaning that Pioshik and Deft are at a lot of risk.
Dive into Deer here. That's pretty bold out of the side of T1, although with the Senna ult on top and no flash or Ghost for perfect, it does work out, and the package just kept him in place. Generally pretty hard against the Udyr. I feel like if maybe he just ran at them instead of back over the package in a way, maybe he would have been in a better spot, but I do digress, as Deft is in a lot of trouble here. He was just existing in the mid lane, but that wasn't allowed, said T1.
He just tried to get a turret, man. He just wants to cross map.
Wasn't allowed, Crown.
You already get the kill on perfect. Give him something.
No.
It's not looking good, Valdez.
Doom is running through the enemy jungle at 18 minutes into the game. Like, nobody's there, nobody can touch him, and that's what I was saying.
Come on, yeah, there we go.
T1 out of position, no vision.
They don't.
They know.
They scryer right now. They do know.
They know.
I don't think they have enough time, Valdez.
Yeah. They might still send it. I mean, they have a lot of Kalista sticks in this Baron, but no, they're just going to back off here. They get the TP out of Zeus, and T1 say, thank you for the leash. We're just going to continue this objective. As Owner holds on to the helicopter. He's not going to use it just yet. Perfect trying to get that flank as Faker goes over the top, and it's just going to flash away from everybody, as meanwhile, Pioshik's just isolated on the backside of this fight. They do get Faker, but the damage is already done here as Keria gets a massive 3-man knockup with his ultimate, and that just might be the nail in the coffin. KT are being wiped up here with a triple kill from Zeus, as Perfect might be the only one to get away, but a big team fight win going the way of T1.
And that Baron call was all KT have left. They knew it was a Hail Mary, and T1, they have a fair share of experience with setting up.
Nautilus at this point is just hilarious.
Yep.
Not for Deft and for KT, obviously, but just objectively, it's like, you don't touch this guy.
No, you don't.
So tanky. Even with for Hollow Radiance next, I mean, it's just the Frozen Heart and some health. That's just what happens, and you're never going to get in range without being ulted by Nautilus. So not only are you not dealing damage, you're CC'd half the time. It's just sad feels playing the Kalista into not only this champion, but into this comp. I mean, not to mention the Poppy that you talked about before. And now T1 with their Baron, just barreling down the bottom lane. Guma's done the most damage in the game, surprisingly. Thought it would be Faker at this point with the packages, but he is up there as well. Guma just doing his job, surviving in the back of the fight, and just poking people down and keeping people alive. Senna,
a complete collapse of T1. This one is pretty, it's pretty over, Valdez. We'll see if they can kill Zeus. There are no TPs.
I think they can. 5v1.
Can they?
I think Zeus is in a lot of trouble here, right? That's an insane amount of damage going into Deft as he got that Q3 down, but it's 1,000 gold into the hands of Deft. They did it.
They did kill Zeus 1v5. It didn't work out. That's a big win. That's gold into the pockets of KT.
It's pretty nice. And now Perfect, he's being focused down, but he's a tank. I mean, that's not where you want your damage to go in.
There's no barrel.
See, Carry is incredibly tanky himself, as an ult is going to sail wide from Owner. And yeah, Barrel not being here. It looks like he took some extra time to farm in the bottom lane. I don't know what he was doing down there. Just trying to make sure that the turret went down. But either way, this inhibitor will stay up, as T1 will not risk the 4v5.
It's just so hard when you get to this point in the game, because Faker is going to poke you. Guma has his summoners available, TP coming in.
Carry is like, yeah, I don't really care about the karma in this case. Ult is going to be utilized on the Perfect, and Zeus is just so huge, and he will take him out. Gets that slow below the 50% mark, and yeah, this inhibitor will go down. Doesn't look like Faker's got a package at this point in time, so they're not going to overstay their welcome. And we do have Baron here in a minute 30, so it looks like they will just play for that. Might just pick up a cheeky Ocean Soul on the way, because why not?
And all I'm wondering, Veldas, is when is T1 going to decide to walk down mid and end this game? Because they can, but they're not taking any risks.
Cheeky Soul, cheeky Baron.
And as we all know, all this is setting up for is for this series to be even better in game number 2. Because game number 1 didn't really give us one just yet as the teleport comes in. They're contesting.
Yeah, this is over Ocean Soul, so let's see how this does work out for them. As Perfect's doing a good job of trying to get in there, but now he's getting out of there. Oh, God. As the massive package comes in, and Deft is just dead immediately. The poor guy has no chance in this game, as Biosik is going to go down as well. That's 3 of them out of this one. We got TPs all over the map, as Zeus will be looking for the kills, while Faker is looking for the kill on the Nexus. TP coming down here from Perfect into the base. And he will try to defend as Owner's just running through the turrets. And yeah, this one is a done deal. Has been for a while, guys, as Faker nearly goes down. But he's just fine in the end. T1 are playing with their food just a bit here. Guma trying to get those max stacks. He's going to end the game at 133 in this one on the Senna, which was given over to him. As I say that, he's getting more and more. 136 as the Nexus will go down, and T1 will take game number 1.
Early plan from KT was very obvious. Draft these